Y'all don't really want it like that. Yeah. Here comes the, no. Here comes the, oh. Here comes the, y'all don't really want it like that. Yeah. Here comes the, no. Here comes the, oh. Here comes the, y'all don't really want it like that.
What's up, everybody? Welcome in to the 615. It's your host, Lee Hillis, and today we are talking Titans pre-training camp. Who's in and who's on the bubble? But first, let's go and bring our co-host in here. Tyler King, how are you?
Great, man. I'm excited. Thanks for letting me do this with you more often, man. I'm really looking forward to it.
But Titans started mandatory minicamp today. And there was a presser between Will Levis and Bill Callahan. But before we dive into that, of course, we have to give a huge congratulations to Coach Bill Callahan, the offensive line coach, for being recognized as one of the Dr. Z 2024 award winners. But there was some stuff that was talked about today in today's presser. And it was, and of course, the video we're going to show is from Teron Davenport. And it was basically him asking Will Levis is basically about not letting bad plays run over to the next. And here's what quarterback Will Levis had to say.
I think it just takes reps, and I think once I bank more of these, these concepts each, I might have 2 or 3 per concept, and we talk about it takes a whole lot more to really build that repertoire and have the answers earlier than you might have them now. So I feel like the more I see it, the more I get to rep it, the easier it'll come, and just got to study it and understand that when I make a mistake, try not to make it happen again.
Yeah, I know before, like last year, like the perfectionist in you would probably harp on that. How have you matured to be able to just move on from those and go to the next play?
Yeah, I just feel like I think I've done a better job of that just throughout my career in general. Definitely even last year, better than I was in college. And now I feel like I'm just more in a mature, developed position where I'm able to really just learn and, take the teachings from a bad rep opposed to, letting it affect me on the next one.
So what is your honest opinion on what Will Levis had to say?
I think definitely there's a maturity that I hear there, and I definitely hear, I was kind of thinking about it. So last year, he's going to have a completely different mindset. He is going to have. It is like I said, it's different coaching now. You got to also think he's actually this year, even though we do have all the weapons. I kind of thought about it. He will need. He's going to have more time. We do have a better offensive line. So he is actually going to now instead, because last year, let's be honest, he dropped back. I mean, he didn't even have hardly any time. So he's going to chuck it to the first dude that's open or risk a throw maybe. But now maybe he has more time, so he might hit his check downs. He won't be as frantic with some of those throws, which I love when it goes deep. But I do hear maturity, and I think I really think, and from what I heard Callie say as well, I think that they're meshing very well.
And there was something that, of course, you were going to mention that Coach Callie said about wide receiver Treylon Burks, which will lead us into talking about the Titans wide receivers.
Yes. So today, the press conference, it was very, very interesting. He said 100% that we will see Treylon Burks on special teams. It's funny because last week on The Zone, Mark Marion, everybody remembers Mark, our returner, one of the great returners that Tennessee had. he said, call me crazy, but he said, I wouldn't be surprised. And he said, I want to see Traylon Burks back there. And they said, why? They said, well, they said, think of Cordell Patterson, the new rules. He's as big as Cordell. And if you look at his rack, like, I mean, he's going to have more time to make moves with the ball because they can't move until the catch happens now. So he said, what shocked me was not so much of he's going to probably be the returner sometimes, but also that he was talking about him being a gunner. So I thought it was crazy when I first heard it, but apparently that's straight from, Callie's mouth. So that's
the horse's mouth.
Exactly. Like, I mean, when I heard it today, I was like, oh, Marion, he was right. He literally said, don't be surprised. This was like 5 days ago. Like, this was like Friday of last week, I think, that Mark came on and said that on the 104.5 The Zone. And then it came out today. So it's pretty crazy.
But as I said, we're going to start off talking Titans wide receivers. Who's on the roster? Who's on the bubble? In my honest opinion, the top 5 for me are D-Hop, Ridley, Boyd, Burks, and Kinsey.
Yes, and to be honest with you, I mean, me and you talk. I mean, I seriously think like we should. I wish we could have him on because I think we're like the biggest Kinsey fans. I feel like me and you.
Yeah,
like we are like his biggest supporters.
And of course, on the bubble is a guy that I know you have contact with in Colton Dowell.
Mm-hmm.
Jaquan Jackson and Kirish Jackson, NWI, and Kyle Phillips. Out of those five, which 3 make it? In your opinion?
I think out of those, I think Phillips is gone. I think, and I mean, I'm not speaking for you, but we obviously agree on that.
Yeah.
I think Phillips is gone. Honestly, I think it's, I'd say the rookie NWI and Colton. And that's not just because,
So you're thinking Dowell, Jaquan Jackson, and NWI.
And I'm telling you, the Dowell thing is because of the new special teams rules. And
I think you could hypothetically see him back there as returner.
Absolutely. Yeah, absolutely.
And then use Kinsey as like a slot guy.
Yeah, absolutely. Because like right now, like I said, NWI with his experience, actually, Colton talked about it, about how he loves learning from him. Like, part of me does think that his NWI is pretty much cemented in there, but I understand why we could have him on the bubble just because of this is a different style of offense, obviously now.
Yeah. And this team's talking about being built by speed.
Exactly. Yes. So, when we look at that, like, but I'm just done with the whole, like, and there's nothing against the guy. It's just, I'm kind of done with the Phillips. Like, I mean, how many games has he played since he's been with us, honestly? Do you know the answer? Because I don't, but how many games has Phillips actually played for the Tennessee Titans?
That's a really good question. Google.
Right? No, yeah, go ahead. Yeah, like, I'm curious. I don't even know if
Phillips.
There's no way it's 10. There's no way. I mean, it's crazy to me. At this point, I mean, as a team for how long have we just been riddled with injuries?
Well, let me go back.
We don't need anybody that's injury prone at this point. And, speaking on these wide receivers as well, I wanted to bring up, we don't get talked about in the mainstream media much or anything about us, but it's funny that it's either active players or ex-players. Plexico Burris was on, can't remember what source it was from, but Plexico Burris literally said that he thinks the Titans have the best receiving.
Well, so did Tyreek.
Yeah, Tyreek too. And the thing is so I was thinking about it. Like, if we're on wide receivers.
Last year, Phil played 9 games last year.
That's crazy to me.
And then 2022, his rookie year, where he played 4.
Well, yeah, but half of those but yeah, we get, my point is still, like, I mean, the guy he's not made a huge impact.
13 games in 2 years.
That's not even a full season. So, but I mean, I was kind of thinking about this, and I did want to ask you this question. Thinking about it like truthfully, as far as like wide receiver like talent goes, who's has a better wide receiving core than us? Or we have to at least have the top 3. We have to, right?
You have to look at possibly Kansas City also.
Yeah.
Miami.
Well, Miami for sure. I mean, yeah, that's
Tyreek, Jalen Waddle.
I mean, I do think the Texans are out there as well.
Dynamic duo right there in Miami.
I mean,
Titans are loaded. That Titans have probably the hardest decision in the wide receiving core.
Oh, I agree 100%. I do agree with that.
And of course, I don't know if I talked. I've had a small discussion through Twitter with PK. He's like, about Kinsey. He was like, "How does Kinsey make?"
Oh no, roster? I saw this, and this is when you posted his numbers.
Yes.
Yes.
I'm like, how do you argue with a guy's measurables and stats like this?
Well, PK said what everybody is saying. But it's not. We don't. This is a complete.
And he made the statement: if Kinsey couldn't make the roster with the Titans literally having nobody, how is he going to make the roster when the Titans have a loaded room?
Different coaching staff. That's the answer.
It is. Our resident Titans hater, XD Gamer.
That's great.
Dude's a diehard Jags fan.
Yeah.
But to the tight ends. The Titans have 6 tight ends on the roster right now. And we've had a small discussion. Let me go, because I have the whole roster bookmarked.
Yeah.
Or the whole depth chart.
I told you, like, when we were talking, like, this is just, the tight end thing is kind of it's
wonky situation.
It is, because Callahan is not known for using them that much.
Cincinnati wasn't known for using them.
That's fair.
And we'll look at that stat here in a second.
Yeah.
But if you look at wide receivers, the Titans have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13 wide receivers. So you have Hobbs, Ridley, Boyd, Burks, NWI, Kyle Phillips, Colton Dowell, Mason Kinsey, Jaquan Jackson, Trayshawn Harrison, Oliver Bryce, don't know who that is, Kyrus Jackson, and Sam Sheen.
You also got to think, man, like, go ahead.
And 3 of those are rookies.
Yeah. I mean, with the tight ends, you got to think. I mean, even Chig, I mean,
that's at the Titans have 6 on the roster.
Yeah, but you got to think, like, but I'm just saying, like, and honestly, I don't know about you, but like, as far as build and just like how he moves and athleticism, I mean, you could almost count Chig as another wide receiver. Like, you know what I mean? Though, like
You
the way
could,
you almost could. You almost could.
but
I get, yeah. I mean, and I mean,
but the stats
the what?
the stats that we're going to look at
Yeah.
are from last season, and you sent me this. Cincinnati was 30th in the league when it came to their tight ends or passing to their tight
4.17.
ends,
Yeah.
while Chig was at 4.53.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, that's, I mean, a lot of that, I mean, Chig couldn't even run a check down route with how much time Levis had, you know? I mean,
Yeah,
he had to get it out so quick.
but then you look at the Titans roster. You have Chig, you have Josh Wiley, Nick Vanette, Thomas Odukoya, David Martin Robinson, and Steven Stelanos. The last two guys are rookies. Martin Robinson and Stelanos are both rookies.
Yeah.
I think the Titans keep three.
I think what, I think,
Okonkwo, Wiley, and Vanette.
I mean, realistically, like, I think this, what you have, you know, on the screen right now, that's that. Yes. I agree, just because of how the offense is going to be shaped, you know? I mean,
And you, as you were saying, you could use Chig as that if you want to run 5 wide.
yeah.
You
Oh
could.
yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, he has the
And-
athleticism, no question.
Yeah. Like
So,
you could run 1 back, 5 wide. Typically.
Exactly. And we also have to remember, we've also, and this is what I think, like, because our receivers are so like crazy, but we also have Spears and Pollard that both could come out and run a straight wheel route and catch a deep ball as well. So I mean, we have two pass catching running backs that also can run between the tackles. So, I mean,
that can be threats.
Exactly. I mean, if you really think about it, we could have 7 players running routes at one time.
Yeah.
I mean,
But
it's crazy.
as you saw, if you look at social media, we're talking the projected 53-man roster from the offensive side this week. Next week, we're looking at defense and special teams.
Yeah.
But before we dive into that 53-man roster projection from the offensive side, we're going to take a quick 30-second break, and we'll be back.
This that Tennessee shit. 615 to the 901. Nashville, Memphis, Clarksville, Murfreesboro. Rep your state. Cadillacs, 24s, Tennessee pimpin'. Superfly, whiskey drinking Tennessee women. If you ain't from the 6, then you can't ride with me. 12s in the back, that's how we Tennessee living. Cadillacs, 24s, Tennessee pimpin'.
That's a
And we
great
are
one.
back, and of course, that song right there was brought to you by MCD, Tennessee Pimping. You can find it anywhere you get your music. But as I was saying, we're going to talk 53-man roster projection, starting with the offensive side this week. And this can be a pretty tricky thing this early.
Yeah.
Because the Titans have so many pieces on the offensive side.
Many. I mean, it's the most can you agree it's probably the most we've seen in
I think this is the most talented offense we've seen in a minute.
I mean, it's hard almost not to say potentially outside of the offensive line ever. It's really hard almost to say this is not. This is definitely going to be the best receiving core altogether that we probably ever had.
That we've had since like Kevin Dyson, Derek Mason,
wide check. Well, I know he's a tight end, but
Yeah.
Bird, yeah, I mean,
Still, he can still catch.
exactly.
But we're going to start off with the quarterbacks. I think we carry 3. And I think your emergency quarterback at the end of the day is Malik Willis.
Yeah, I do too. I've actually heard
And-
rumblings that Mason's doing pretty decent in camp.
Yeah. But we'll get to our surprise cuts after preseason at the very end. And you'll definitely want to stick around for that from both sides. But then you get to running backs. This is where things get interesting. So
Yeah.
in the running back room, in the Titans running back room at this moment, you have 6 running backs. Your front 2 are Pollard and Spears. You have Haskins right now on the depth chart listed as number 3. Chestnut 4. And then Johnson and Small. Dylan Johnson and Jabari Small, both rookies. And this is where I get the shakeup going. I think the Titans carry 4
Mm-hmm.
with Pollard, Spears, Johnson, and Small.
I agree with that. I do.
And I think I might have just made a lot of Vols fans excited
Oh,
about
yeah,
seeing
definitely.
Jabari about seeing Jabari Small staying in Tennessee.
Absolutely.
But then,
I mean,
yeah, what
style.
were you gonna say?
It's all style, man. It's the style. Like Haskins is. I mean, I'm over that too.
Yeah, but then wide receiver, I keep 7. As I mentioned, the Titans have like 16 wide receivers. But we talked wide receiver earlier. I went Pop, Ridley, Boyd, Burks, Kinsey. You went Jaquan Jackson. I went Pierce Jackson. The second-year man out of Georgia. And then, of course, I also took the second-year man out of UT Martin, Colton Dowell.
Oh, yeah.
Any objections right there?
The only one, I mean, as you know, I do think at the end of the day, NWI is going to be on that. I don't see him getting
Be on there
cut.
somewhere.
Yeah, I don't see him getting
Well,
cut.
surprise
take out-
cuts,
Yeah,
surprise
coming.
cuts, and if one of my surprise cuts hits, I could see NWI make it.
yeah. I would probably take out
But-
Jackson and throw in NWI.
And then offensive line, I see the Titans taking 11 offensive linemen.
I agree with that.
Because right now your starters at this moment are Latham, Skoronski, Cushenberry, Radens has been listed as a starter. And I could see NPF being your starting right tackle.
Oh, I think that's for sure. And actually, Brunskill was in that position, and they moved. And apparently, Radens has really taken to Callahan's way of teaching. I guess they say he looks a lot better. I don't, I've heard a lot of rumblings about that.
The player ones on the offensive line, left tackle to right tackle, they have J.C. Latham, Peter Skoronski, Lloyd Cushenberry. They have Brunskill as the starting right guard, and then Radens is the starting right tackle.
Yeah.
But then you see my backups. I went Leroy Watson, the 4th out of the trade from Cleveland,
Yeah.
as the backup to Latham. And then Sadiq Charles from Washington. And
Yeah.
then I went Brunskill, because Brunskill can also play center.
Yeah.
And then I
That's true.
went John Ajoku
Yeah.
and Jalen Duncan,
Yeah.
but I also went Andrew Rupchick, who can play guard or tackle.
Yeah.
Because,
No,
and I think Callahan mentioned this today, you can only dress so many on game day.
yeah. Oh, yeah. But you see a lot of O-liners go down, man. Injury-wise.
I'm surprised I didn't have tight ends in here. But we've already mentioned tight ends. I think the Titans only keep 3.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure.
And my 3 are Conquo, Wiley, and Vanette.
Yeah.
But we get to the most fun part of the show.
Yeah.
3 surprise cuts offensively after the preseason. Where did you go at number 3? Who was one of your 3?
Well, like I said, mine are not as fun as yours. I understand that, but because he has been with us for a while, a couple seasons. But with our running back room and the style we're going, I don't even know if you'd really call this a surprise, but I'm going to go with Chestnut. I do like him. I just don't think he fits with our style now.
New offense.
That's one of mine, So what about you?
And of course, we have to give a shout out. We've got to give a shout out to the boys over at the Twin Titan Sports Network. But
Absolutely.
Number 3, I went Traylon Burks. And that, in my mind, is the only way the NWI would make this roster. At this, for this.
That's bold.
For the way I have it set up.
Yeah.
Number 2, I went Dylan Radins. That you could consider that somewhat of an upset pick right there.
Yeah.
Because I know there's a lot of Titans fans that are down on him. I know there's a lot of Titans fans that like him. I'm on the end of Titans fans that like him.
Yeah.
Because if you go back and look at that Thursday night game before Christmas, when we played San Francisco and Nashville,
I was in the booth.
He manhandled Bosa.
That's
with
when
maybe
AJ
little
went
to
off.
no help. Oh yeah.
Yeah.
And we won by 3?
I mean, I feel like the true reason we won that game is because of AJ. I'll never forget that game because it was insane.
And then who's your second one?
I could see, man, I'll be honest with you, I could see Farley.
You could see Farley being let walk.
Yeah. Yeah.
Give the boy his pink slip.
Yeah.
But number 3, for me, it's the first one. Number 3 for you. We agree on it.
Yeah, we're both on the same page here. I definitely could see this.
And I could see him staying, but only sticking around as that emergency quarterback, not being active.
Yeah.
Unless like Rudolph was, or if Levis was to get hurt, knock on wood.
Yeah. Oh,
that
yeah. We better knock on everything. Yeah. Yeah.
But then you'd go to Mason Rudolph.
Yeah.
But if you go back and look at last year, Rudolph ended the season on a very high note.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, he's
high note.
Yeah.
So he's capable.
Yeah, I mean he has like, started many games, so
Yes. And then Malik Willis. And that's how they have him set up on this depth chart. If you go to ourlads.com/NFL depth chart/depth chart/TEN, you can find the Titans 2024 depth chart.
Yeah.
And everything that's in gold is all rookies.
Mm-hmm.
And this team, when I say this team is young, it's no.
Yeah.
Like we have
very
1,
young.
2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. 11 rookies on offense.
That's crazy.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 on defense, and 1 on special teams.
So 22, 23, yeah, or whatever. Yeah, that's a lot. That's a lot.
But next, ooh. Now I'm gonna have to argue on this one. Mason, and this is the surprise cuts. Mason, Haskins, and NWI.
I just see Mason's. I just see him with Cali. Like, I think he's going to be a Cali guy. He's going to like him. That's just my opinion. I think Haskins Haskins is gone. And
Haskins is gone.
Yeah. NWI, I truly do believe he will be on this roster. I just do. I think his experience, and from what I've heard actual players say about him. So that's just my opinion.
But as I said, next week we'll be back next week to talk defense. This defense is going to be something else.
Yeah, it's going to be different.
We're somewhat terrifying. And Callie hit on it today. This defense has been physical already. And speaking of defense, the Titans they signed their last rookie today in T'Vondre Sweat.
I mean,
we're not even to training camp yet.
We're going to be a lot faster.
Quarterbacks in the NFC, you've been put on notice.
Yeah, exactly.
But as we get ready to get out of here, as I was saying, Tyler and I will be back next week to talk defense and special teams. And it should be fun next week.
Absolutely. We're going to keep it going, man.
But
yeah, the defense is what is this? Let's see.
Great show, boys. Our defense has a few holes to fill, especially at safety.
And we will definitely hit on that for sure next week.
Let's see what there is at safety. You got Hook at strong safety. You have Monty Hooker, Mike Brown, and Matthew Jackson. Free safety: Elijah Molden, Shy Carter, and Keaton Ellis. I could see a situation where you could move somebody else to safety, but we'll dive into that next week.
Absolutely.
While we're talking defense next week, specifically the secondary, which has been upgraded.
Completely changed. Yeah.
And this defense will be physical.
I think it's going to be high flying, man. I really do.
No fly zone.
Right, and that line is going to be good. But like I said, I know we'll get into it. But yeah,
yeah, or Legion of Boom.
Right, it's going to be good.
Dude, the Titans should copyright that. But as we like to say, stay classy and tighten up.
Tighten up! Let's get tightened up! Tightened up!